Zion, I need you to go left, please. Thank you. Kaylee, go left, please. Thank you. All right, this is the geometry semester exam 1 study guide. I'm going to do this each day this week, and by end of class on Friday, I will have covered the entire study guide. So if you miss a day of school this week, these notes will be on Edline by date. So you can get the work or the notes that you missed. Got it? Got it. Well done. All right, number 1 on that study guide. Right in that pile. What is the equation for the line that passes through the points? Okay, point slope form looks like this. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times the letter x minus x sub 1. All right, so in this case, you are given 2 points. You are given the point 6, negative 5, and you are given 7, 5. The first thing you have to do with these 2 points is you have to find the slope, which is the m right here. All right? So slope, m, is equal to y2 minus y1. So you got 5 minus negative 5 divided by x1, or x2 minus x1. So 7 minus 6. So in this case, you got 5 plus 5, which is 10, and 7 minus 6, which is 1. So the slope, or the m in this case, is equal to 10. They used the points 6, 5. All right? They used these 2 points in all of the equations that they wrote. So when you write a line in point slope form, which this is, you write the letter y, and then this says the opposite of the y value. So the opposite of negative 5 is positive 5, equals the slope, in parentheses, the letter x, and then this says the opposite of the x value at the point. So the opposite of your x sub 1 would be this 6, but it would be negative 6. Get a study guide right there. So this is your equation in point slope form for problem number 1, and that looks like 10 times x minus 6. That looks like b. So you find the slope first. The opposite of the y value given goes right here. The opposite of this x value given goes right here, and the slope goes there. And that's point slope form. In problem number 2, we just did this a couple weeks ago. The 4x plus 8 is across from a 32, and the 44 is across from a 20. So the 44 is less than the 4x plus 8. And the 4x plus 8 has to be less than 180 because it's one angle in a triangle. So you can subtract 8 from the middle, the right, and the left. And 32 is less than 4x, which is less than 172. And then you can divide everything by 4. So 8 would be less than x, which would be less than 40 something, 43? 43. So there's your range of values for x. 3. Number 3 talks about theorem or postulate. So let's take a look at this triangle. If that's 90, then this will be 90. These angles are congruent. And you got A, B, C, D. Name the theorem or postulate that lets you immediately conclude that ABD, the top triangle, is congruent to triangle CBD, the bottom triangle. Alright, and answer A is angle, angle, side. B is side, angle, side. C is angle, side, angle. And answer D is none. So what you have to look at in this picture is what is true, okay? And what's true is that this triangle on the top has an angle, this 90-degree angle, a side, and it's got another angle that are congruent to an angle, this same side, and this angle of another triangle, okay? They share side BD. They both have 90-degree angles that touch the side, and they both have other congruent angles that touch the side. So by angle, side, angle, the two triangles are congruent. So that's answer C. Angle, side, angle. The side has to touch both of the congruent angles. And then in number 4, name the plane represented by the front of the box. So your box looks something like this. Do you need to see a picture? You got a picture of it, don't you? Yeah. Alright, the plane represented by the front of the box. This box goes back away this way. And the front is BCGF, right? So that's the plane represented by the front of the box. Yeah, and there's J on there, and there's a K on there. Now remember though, when you're naming a plane, it's 3 non-collinear points. So you can't use B, J, C. Those are all on the same line. And you can't use F, K, G. You got to use 3 points not on the same line. So however you want to name that, it's going to be multiple choice. Just make sure you don't pick 3 points on the same line. So you can use B, C, G. Alright? You can use B, F, G. You can use any combination of 3 points that are on this plane, but they can't all 3 be on the same line. Number 5. Got 2 parallel lines and 2 transversals. This angle is 77 degrees. These horizontals are parallel to each other, and this is 27 degrees. Find the measure of angle Q, and angle Q is right here. Okay, if you look at the 2 horizontal lines, this top horizontal and this bottom horizontal, this 27-degree angle is going to be an alternate exterior angle. And it's going to be congruent to this angle right here, which is 27 degrees. And then these 3 angles up top, these 3 form a line, don't they? So they have to add up to 180 degrees. So if you take 180 and you subtract 27 of it, and then subtract 77 of it, what's left? 76 degrees? Okay. So 76 degrees is left. So the measure of angle Q is 76 degrees. Number 6, you got E, and then F, and G. If E to F is 7x plus 13, F to G is 11, and E to G is 115. So from E all the way to G is 115. That's the information given. Find the value of x. So you're finding the value of x in this problem. So look, this is segment addition postulate. This piece right here, 7x plus 13, plus this piece right here is equal to the entire piece, which is 115. So now, on the left-hand side, you can combine like terms. So 7x plus 13 plus 11 is 24 equals 115. If you subtract 24 from each side, then 7x is equal to 91. And if you divide both sides by 7, 91 divided by 7 equals 13. So x, in this case, is equal to 13. Remember that the two pieces of a segment, you got, in this case, the smaller piece, the blue piece, plus the red piece equals the entire piece. Number 7, you got a bow tie. Moe's Bows, that's what it was called. Little 13-year-old on the Shark Tank that designed bow ties. Got to deal with Damon Johns, the FUBU originator. Can you use side angle side, angle angle side, or both to prove the triangle is congruent? All right, so in this triangle, you got to mark what you know. You got a side, you've got an angle, you've got a side, you've got an angle. Now look, they don't give you any other information other than these angles in the middle right here. These are vertical angles. They are across from each other, so they are congruent to each other. So look what you got. You've got an angle, and a non-included side congruent to an angle, and a non-included side. Okay? So by angle, side, they are congruent. For them to be congruent by side, angle, side, you would have to have two congruent sides. In this case, you don't have that. Number 8. Angle bisector problem. DF bisects EDG. DF bisects EDG. If it bisects it, it means it's the same distance from both sides of the angle. This is 23. This is 13x. And this is 8x plus 30. Find the value of x. Okay, if D to F is an angle bisector, any point on an angle bisector is equal distance to the side of the triangle, to the side of the angle. So this piece is congruent to this piece. That means that 8x plus 30 is equal to 13x. You can subtract 8x from each side. So 30 is equal to 5x. You can divide both sides by 5. So 6 is equal to x. Number 9. What is the slope of the line shown? In the first problem that we did today, we found the slope of a line. So you've got one of your points on this line is at 5, 0. And another point is at 8, -9. Slope in math is represented by the letter M. Slope is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So in this case, you got -9 minus 0 divided by 8 minus 5. -9 minus 0 would be -9. 8 minus 5 would be 3. -9 divided by 3 would be -3. So the slope of this line is -3. Number 10, which 3 lengths could be the lengths of the sides of a triangle? Remember, the 2 shortest sides have to sum more than the third side. So answer A, you've got a 6, a 25, and a 10. The 2 shorter sides in this case add up to 16. It's not greater than 25. So A cannot be a triangle. B, 27 and 8. In this case, the 2 shorter sides add up to 15. It's not greater than the third side. That can't be a triangle.
Wait, the third side is the greatest side, right?
Well, what you're going to do is add up the 2 shortest sides, and it has to add up to more than the third number they give you. Answer C, 12, 5, and 17. 12, 5, 17. 2 shorter sides, 12 plus 5 equals 17. That doesn't make a triangle either. It's got to be greater than the third side. So answer D, by process of elimination, you've got 8, 15, and 22. 8 plus 15 is 23, so this works. Your 2 shorter sides added together are greater than your third side. Number 11. 2 sides of a triangle have lengths of 6 and 11. Which expression describes the length of the third side? All right, you're trying to find a range of values for the third side. So we said that you take 11 minus 6, and that's equal to 5. You put an x in the middle, and then you take 11 plus 6, and that's equal to 17. So the length of the third side has to be greater than 5, and it's got to be less than 17. So that's answer B. All right, on number 12. Name the intersection of plane ACG and BCG. If you didn't take any geometry this year at all, and someone walked up to you and asked you, where does ACG intersect with BCG? They intersect at CG. They're the only two letters that are common to both descriptions. All right? So planes intersect at lines. So you're given up two planes. They both have the letters CG in them. So these two planes have to intersect at CG. Everybody okay with stopping at number 12? Yeah. All right. You've been a great audience. We will pick up
I'm trying to pass.
a question for you.
I did these.
Why didn't you turn them in Friday when they were due? Were you here Friday?
Yeah, I wasn't here Thursday though, so I was starting Friday, and then I had to work test.
Well, you got this on Friday in class, right?
Yeah.
And the sub told you to turn it in at the end of the period.
Yeah.
Why didn't you turn it in at the end of the period?
I didn't finish it. So
Right. Because you were on your phone the whole time and you weren't doing what you're supposed to do. So this is late.